Paul Ludwig Ewald von Kleist, August 8, 1881 to November 13, 1954, was a German Generalfeldmarschall, field marshal, of the Wehrmacht during World War II, renowned for his mastery of blitzkrieg tactics and significant contributions to German military campaigns. Born into an aristocratic Prussian family with a storied military tradition, Kleist's life was shaped by his early military service, his role in major World War II campaigns, and his eventual imprisonment and death in Soviet captivity. Below is a comprehensive account of his life, drawing from historical records and critically examining his role and legacy. Early life and family background. Paul Ludwig Ewald von Kleist was born on August 8, 1881, in Braunfels an der Lahn, Hesse-Nassau, in the Kingdom of Prussia, part of the German Empire. He was born into the House of Kleist, a prominent Pomeranian noble family with a long history of military service. The family had produced 2 Prussian field marshals and numerous generals, embedding a strong martial tradition. His father, Christoph Hugo Albrecht August von Kleist, 1848–1886, was a high-ranking civil servant, Geheimer Studienrat, and his mother was Elizabeth Glee, b. 1856. The family's monarchist values and proximity to the influential von Hindenburg family shaped Kleist's worldview and career. He married Gisela Wachel on October 18, 1910, in Hanover, and they had 2 sons, Johannes Jürgen Christoph Ewald and Hugo Edmund Christoph Heinrich. Military education and early career. Kleist joined the Prussian army at the age of 18, entering the Field Artillery Regiment, General Feldjägermeister, No. 3 as a Fahnenjunker, officer cadet, on March 9, 1900. He was commissioned as a Leutnant, second lieutenant, on August 18, 1901, and quickly rose through the ranks, serving as a battalion adjutant in 1904 and regimental adjutant in 1907. From 1908 to 1909, he attended the cavalry school in Hanover, and in 1910, he was promoted to Oberleutnant, first lieutenant. That same year, he was selected for general staff training at the prestigious War Academy in Berlin, graduating in 1911. By 1914, he had become a captain and was assigned to the command staff of the 1st Life Hussars, Totenkopf, before the outbreak of World War I. During World War I, Kleist commanded a cavalry squadron at the Battle of Tannenberg in August 1914, a decisive German victory that destroyed a Russian army. His service earned him the Iron Cross Second Class, October 4, 1914, and First Class, January 27, 1915, reflecting his bravery and leadership. After the war, he remained in the Reichswehr, the limited German military allowed under the Treaty of Versailles, serving in administrative and training roles. By 1932, he commanded the 2nd Cavalry Division in Breslau and was promoted to Generalleutnant, Lieutenant General, in 1933. He took command of the 8th Army Corps in 1936 but was semi-retired in 1938 during Hitler's purge of the military in the Blomberg-Fritsch affair, likely due to his monarchist leanings and aristocratic background. World War II and rise to prominence. Recalled to active duty in August 1939 at age 58, Kleist's expertise in mobile warfare made him a key figure in the Wehrmacht's early successes. His career during World War II can be divided into several major campaigns. Invasion of Poland, 1939. Kleist commanded the 22nd Panzer Corps during the invasion of Poland, which began on September 1, 1939. His corps, including the 2nd Panzer Division, 4th Light Division, and 3rd Mountain Division, played a significant role in the rapid German advance, showcasing early elements of blitzkrieg tactics. His leadership earned him the class to the Iron Cross Second Class, September 17, 1939, and First Class, September 27, 1939. Battle of France, 1940. In May 1940, Kleist led Panzergruppe von Kleist, comprising the 41st Panzer Corps and 19th Panzer Corps, under Heinz Guderian, in the invasion of France and the Low Countries. His forces spearheaded the blitzkrieg through the Ardennes forest, outflanking the heavily fortified Maginot Line. On May 12, Kleist's decision to cross the Meuse River at Sedan without waiting for infantry support broke the French line, creating a 62-mile wide gap. This maneuver trapped the British Expeditionary Force and French armies, leading to the evacuation at Dunkirk and the fall of Paris. Kleist's attempt to relieve Guderian of command for disobeying orders to halt was overruled by Army Group A commander Gerd von Rundstedt, preserving the momentum of the advance. For his leadership, Kleist was awarded the Knight's Cross of the Iron Cross on May 15, 1940, and promoted to Generaloberst, Colonel General. Balkans Campaign, 1941. In April 1941, Kleist commanded the 1st Panzergruppe, consisting of the 3, 14, and 48th Panzer Corps and 29th Infantry Corps, during the invasions of Yugoslavia and Greece. His forces captured Belgrade, contributing to the swift collapse of Yugoslav resistance following a coup that had installed a pro-Western government. The campaign demonstrated Kleist's ability to coordinate large-scale armored operations across challenging terrain. Operation Barbarossa and the Eastern Front, 1941–1943. During Operation Barbarossa, the invasion of the Soviet Union starting in June 1941, Kleist commanded the 1st Panzergruppe, later 1st Panzer Army, under Army Group South. His forces executed a rapid advance from Lublin to the Sea of Azov, encircling 5 Soviet mechanized corps and capturing Kyiv in September 1941. By November, his armies seized Rostov but were forced to retreat after a Soviet counteroffensive led by General Semyon Timoshenko. Kleist received the Oak Leaves to his Knight's Cross on February 17, 1942, for his role in these operations. In May 1942, during the Second Battle of Kharkiv, Operation Frederikus, Kleist's 1st Panzer Army, alongside General Friedrich Paulus's 6th Army, encircled and destroyed the Soviet 6th and 57th Armies, capturing 240,000 prisoners and destroying over 1,250 tanks and 2,000 artillery pieces. In the summer of 1942, as part of Case Blue, Kleist's 1st Panzer Army led Army Group A's thrust into the Caucasus to capture the oilfields of Grozny and Baku. Despite initial progress, logistical challenges and Soviet resistance halted the advance, and Kleist's forces narrowly escaped encirclement during their retreat. In January 1943, Kleist was promoted to Generalfeldmarschall, uniquely for his defensive leadership in withdrawing 4 German armies from the Caucasus and Kuban after the Stalingrad disaster. Command of Army Group A and dismissal, 1942–1944. In November 1942, Kleist was appointed Commander-in-Chief of Army Group A, tasked with securing the Caucasus oilfields. After the German defeat at Stalingrad, he orchestrated a successful retreat, preserving much of his force. However, in March 1944, Kleist was dismissed by Hitler for ordering the 8th Army to retreat from the Dnieper River to avoid encirclement, defying Hitler's stand-fast orders. This marked the end of his active military service. Policies and conduct in occupied territories. Kleist's approach in occupied territories, particularly in Ukraine and the Caucasus, diverged from standard Nazi policy, which treated non-Germanic peoples as inferior. Recognizing the strategic value of local support, Kleist appointed former military attachés to Moscow, Ernst August Kostring and Oskar von Niedermayer, to advise on handling non-Russian ethnic minorities. His policies, described as attempting to win over local populations through relatively lenient treatment, led to the recruitment of approximately 800,000 Soviet citizens as collaborators. However, these actions later contributed to his war crimes charges, with Soviet authorities accusing him of alienating, through friendship and generosity, the peoples of the Soviet Union. Implication in the 20th of July plot. In 1944, Kleist was implicated in the 20th of July plot to assassinate Hitler due to his cousin Ewald von Kleist Schmenzen's involvement in the Oster conspiracy, a related anti-Nazi resistance effort. Arrested by the Gestapo, Kleist avoided trial and was released, possibly due to lack of evidence or his military stature. His cousin's son, Ewald Heinrich von Kleist Schmenzen, was also involved in the plot, highlighting the family's complex relationship with the Nazi regime. Capture, trials, and death. In April 1945, Kleist was captured by U.S. forces in Mitterfels, Germany, and handed over to the British. In 1946, he was extradited to Yugoslavia, where he was tried for war crimes related to massacres during the Balkans campaign. Sentenced to 15 years, he was transferred to Soviet custody in 1948. In 1952, a Soviet court sentenced him to 25 years for war crimes, including the charge of anti-Soviet activity, through his lenient policies. Kleist died in Vladimir Prison near Moscow on November 13, 1954, at age 73, the highest-ranking German officer to die in Soviet captivity. Reports conflict on his burial. Some suggest he was buried near Vladimir Prison, while others claim his body was exhumed in 1955, dressed in a field marshal's uniform, and repatriated to Germany, though no definitive record of his final burial place exists. Legacy and critical assessment. Kleist was a skilled commander whose mastery of blitzkrieg tactics contributed to Germany's early victories in World War II. His leadership in Poland, France, the Balkans, and the Soviet Union demonstrated strategic acumen, particularly in mobile warfare. However, his role in Nazi Germany's aggressive campaigns and the subsequent war crimes trials complicate his legacy. While his policies in occupied territories were less brutal than those of other German commanders, they were still part of the broader Nazi war effort, and his convictions reflect the Soviet and Yugoslav focus on punishing German military leaders. Historian Samuel W. Mitchum described Kleist as an officer and a gentleman in an era when such characteristics were liabilities, highlighting his adherence to traditional Prussian military values in the context of the Nazi regime. His disagreements with Hitler, particularly over strategic retreats, underscore his pragmatic approach to warfare, prioritizing the survival of his troops over ideological rigidity. Yet, his involvement in campaigns that facilitated Nazi atrocities, even indirectly, ties him to the regime's broader crimes. Kleist's life reflects the complexities of a professional soldier serving under a totalitarian regime. His aristocratic background and monarchist leanings placed him at odds with Nazi ideology, yet his military expertise made him indispensable until his dismissal. His death in captivity, far from his homeland, underscores the personal cost of his service in a war that reshaped Europe and the world.